All right, hello everybody. Zaxter99, the developer of Fancy Beer here. I wanted to go ahead and make another video because I've put a lot of work into Fancy Beer over the last several days. I've optimized the game and cut out more than 6,000 lines of code every second that your CPU has to read, and I believe this makes the game feel and play better than ever before. But I've also made a huge change, a change that probably should have been something that was in the game from the start, because I always intended Fancy Beer to be a game where you moved your ship crashing through the rocks as opposed to sitting in one spot, blasting them. So now with version 1.21, I finally made the game so that, just blasting every rock is going to kill you because your size decreases. I mean, your size decreases when you move around, but your size decreases even more if you sit in one spot and shoot asteroids, as you lose 5% of your total size every shot you fire. And you are also awarded no cake, which can help you get bigger if you're simply blasting rocks. So you have to get a 3 crash combo to even be awarded cake, which can increase your size by 100% and keep you alive. So this is something that really should have been in the game since, right from the start. But just like rock and roll, I had a really hard time initially finding a way to get people to move around and not perch in one spot. And I finally did that a couple of years ago with Asloth. That's a monster that is created, like a super boss is created from all the rocks that form into one spot. If you fail to, take the warnings to get moving, and keep moving. In all these games like this, I always want the player to move around and have to dodge the enemies because I just think that's so much more fun than just perching in one little spot, camping one spot, and firing away. So I finally achieved that with Fancy Beer, and let's go ahead and show you what I've done in version 1.21. All right, guys, so here we are. We've launched the game now. As you can see, this is version 1.21. In this update, I did make it possible so you can easily change the controls, the keys to control your color right here. You simply click on Change Color Controls right there. It brings up the 4 different colors you can change your ship to. The outside color is always the color that you shoot the fish with, and the internal color is the color you want to change to shoot that particular asteroid. So purple Vectoroids, for example, you would shoot, you would change to this color. Orange Vectoroids, you would change to this color. Red Vectoroids, you want to change to this color. And then green Vectoroids, you'd want to change to your outside being red and the internal side being green. For the fish, it's always the outside color that you want to be. So let's say you want to change these to 1, 2, 3, or you simply click on which one you want to change, and then it'll tell you to press the desired key, and then confirm it. If you don't want to use if you want to go back to defaults, simply click on defaults here and then confirm that, and you're ready to go. So when you launch the game, guys, this is probably the biggest problem a lot of people are going to have with, crashing their ship through the rocks. They're like, oh man, it's so hard to control. It's really not that hard to control. It's just a unique system of movement rather than using like WASD or like my rock and roll form where you use W to move forward and A and D to rotate or something like that. In this game, all you do is right mouse button where you want to move. So you put your cursor where you want to move, and then hit the right mouse button and you'll move there. So notice how we're doing pretty good on controlling our ship here, and we took away that fish, and I am not running into any rocks. That's because I've practiced this game a little bit, and it's really easy. It just takes a little bit of practice, guys. So to make this simpler, all I'm going to do is put the cursor where I want to move and then tap my right mouse button. Now, the further away your cursor is from your ship, the faster you're going to move to that location, and your ship's always going to move towards your cursor. So if you get going too fast and you want to slow down, it's as simple. Oh, we got beat there. So if you do get moving too fast and you want to slow down, see how fast I'm going right now? It's as simple as putting your cursor near your ship and then right-clicking, and you see that I've slowed down really well there. I want to crash through that rock, so I want to go fast. And then I want to slow down so I can take out this vector fish, just like that. It does take just a few moments of practice, but I believe that with just a few minutes practice using the right mouse button, you will see how much control you have over going exactly where you want to go. So that's all there is to moving around in Fancy VEER. And we want to go ahead and change our internal color to the red so we can blast through these red rocks. We're going to get 3 right in a row there, 3 times combo. Now we're going to go ahead and change the internal color to green, make that combo 5 times, and then we smashed. Oh, we died because we shrunk. And this is what I'm talking about. If you get less than 20%, you do die to starvation. You always have to watch out for that. As you see, I had some cake waiting here for me right here because I did get that crash combo, and it awarded me for that crash combo with cake. I just didn't eat it in time. So we have 1 Vectoroid left, as you can see here. We're going to go ahead and change our outside to yellow so we can take out that fish. And then we're going to go ahead and crash through this small Vectoroid just because it's worth a lot more points, even though it's only a 1 crash combo because we only have 1 rock left. Just like that. So it's always going to tell you your total smash combo points over here at the bottom. And your level difficulty points is something new in this update as well. The game does some calculations at the beginning of the level to determine the level difficulty and how many points you will be awarded if you clear the level. There's a lot that goes into this calculation, including how many rocks there are, the average speed of the rocks, how many fish there are that attack you during the level. The one thing it does is it figures out like how easy it is to smash through all the rocks. So let's say on a particular level you have 10 total Vectoroids at the beginning, and 8 of those Vectoroids, let's say, are red. Well, if 8 of the 10 Vectoroids are red, it's going to be really easy to turn your ship to the green color and go crashing through those 8 rocks and only having 2 left. Well, if that happens, if you have a whole bunch of your rocks the same color at the beginning of the level, your level difficulty will not be worth nearly as many points should that occur. So it is a pretty complex system that determines that. Let's go ahead and move on to level 2 here, and let's see how quickly we can crash through these rocks. Notice that you can get 2 at a time, which is pretty cool. Nope. I was going too slow to smash that Vectoroid. Yeah, but just a few minutes of time, guys, you guys will be smashing through these rocks and scoring these combos, and I think people will see that, hey, this is a lot more fun than simply perching in one spot and firing away at the Vectoroids. So another thing that's pretty cool in this game is with the vector fish that come at you, notice you have to, like for a blue fish, you have to have the outside of your ship blue. Well, one thing you can practice just for fun and for a lot of points is instead of just shooting the fish directly, if you ricochet your bullet off of a Vectoroid, so for example, like that one, it's the wrong color to shoot that because this is for shooting orange, the Vectoroids. So, if I change my ship to the outside color to shoot this yellow fish, for example, oops, and I bounce right there. If I bounce the shot off and hit the fish, I get 10 times the normal points for destroying that fish. I call it rectochet, and that is rectochet points. And it's kind of fun to play around with should you want to try something different and see how good you really are. So here we go again. Let's try that. Well, it has to be on a different, you have to bounce it off of like a different colored ship other than red. And that's one thing you can happen if you get greedy trying to destroy a fish by bouncing it off a Vectoroid. You could die to a vector fish. So I do believe there's a lot of fun to be had in Fancy VEER. I honestly believe this is one of my most underappreciated games. I think it's a unique game. It's certainly a game that I've never played anything like it before. I know most people will look at a game like this and think, oh, this is the same thing as your rock and roll game or a typical space shooter. This is another asteroids game. I challenge you guys to play Fancy VEER and then tell me after you've played it a while that it's anything like asteroids or a typical space shooter game. I assure you that Fancy VEER is way different, and if you learn how to control your ship, I think there's a lot of fun to be had with this game. This is Zaxter Games, or Zaxter99 on YouTube. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for watching me show you update 1.21, guys. and go out there and enjoy whatever game it is that you enjoy playing. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.